Hi, everyone. Welcome to Resist Burnout, a 15-minute weekly call to restore and regenerate and to return to who you are, to establish some grounding for the work of justice that we are committed to and will continue to do today and tomorrow and every day. My name is Rabbi Kerry Chaplin. I'm really happy that you're calling in, whether you're listening live or if you're listening later in the week. I know you know the need for this sort of grounding, otherwise you wouldn't be calling in or listening at all. Whatever your personal rituals or practices or religions, the Lab Shul team and I hope this call will be a kind of way station and one of many to sustain your commitment and your energy to the justice work, to the resistance that we are all a part of right now. Everyone is on mute because of the brief nature of the call, and that does mean no introductions, unfortunately, but we do want to honor this temporary community that we have built, are continuing to build, of like-minded strangers throughout the country. So I'll invite you, please, when the call is over, to post a picture of where you're listening, who you're listening with, your coworkers, your cute animals, a photograph you might have nearby, your sunny corner of the office, or post a word or two about what's on your heart after the call. In the meantime, I do want to say something about who I know is on this call today. There are a lot of area codes, I'll be honest, and some I don't know. But I do know there are people calling in from Illinois, from California, from Pennsylvania, Texas, Florida. I think I see Massachusetts, Vermont, DC, and Virginia, possibly Iowa, but I'm not 100% sure about that one. I'm sure other places too. And there are people on this call working for immigrant rights, for healthcare access, for queer rights, for refugees. There are academics and artists, peacemakers, troublemakers, politicos, people who are planning to run for office. There are consultants, parents, and all of us in our great diversity pursuing the world we aspire to live in. We gather on this call to practice our own helpfulness. We have just this one self and a whole lot of work to do with it. Calling in from Pittsburgh, or I should say outside of Pittsburgh, there is actually a place called Mars, Pennsylvania. Rhonda Rosen is a mindfulness meditation practitioner since '73, and she has been leading mindfulness meditation for 10 years. Rhonda, we can hear you.
You can hear me? Oh, good.
Yeah.
Thank you. You've done it? Yay. Okay. We get
You
this
sound
down.
a little far away.
Is this better? Is that any better?
It might just be me, but you do sound a little far away. Are you using a headset?
I am. Is this better? I made it louder.
Would it be okay to take it off the headset?
Absolutely. I will do that. Hold on. I need to get to speaker. Can you hear me? Kerry?
It's a little better.
You sound really far away now.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Is this going to work?
We'll create intimacy with through your meditation and practice today then.
Okay. All right. But you can actually hear me.
It does sound far away. I don't know what to do about that at this point.
Okay, so let's just do this, and I will make it a little louder. I have no idea why it's echoing. Okay? All right. So if we're all ready with that kind of introduction. So justice workers face infinite need and limited resources. It is so easy to become weary and discouraged. When we are spent this way, sometimes it is hard to even notice, but with sustained demands, we each wear out in very predictable ways. If we can become aware of our own patterns, then we can make a decision to take some time out to recharge. For some, sleeping becomes disrupted. Some get headaches or GI distress. We can get panic or anxiety attacks. Our immune system can become weakened, making us more prone to illness. Some of us get so harried that we feel like we can't take time to recharge. This is a mistake. Precisely when we are becoming overwhelmed is when we need to take some time out. Otherwise, our ability to think clearly begins to deteriorate. We make poor decisions. We become more emotionally irritable or volatile. Learning to relax and collect yourself is a skill. The more you practice, the easier it is to recruit the skill when you need it. When you notice you are beside yourself or caught up in non-productive mental rumination, you can come to your senses. What do I see, hear, smell, taste? Am I breathing? Breathing diaphragmatically gives your nervous system the signal that it is safe to let your arousal level drop so you can come back home to yourself. This is necessary for homeostasis, so let's begin practicing now. If you like, start by taking a nice big inhale and then fully exhale. When you breathe with the diaphragm, the lower third of the lungs also fill up. This is where the most efficient oxygen exchange happens. So a nice big inhale and then fully exhale. When you breathe this way, you may feel the rib cage expand and contract. So take one more deliberate inhale and exhale, then just let the breath breathe itself naturally. Sometimes we just need to remind the diaphragm that it participates when we want to relax. When we are anxious or worried, we tend to hold our breath. If noticing can become part of your periodic awareness, then you can begin to alter your automatic habits. You can let the attention rest on the breath at the nostrils or the movement of the diaphragm in the rib cage. Each time the attention wanders, just bring it back. This breath, in this moment, breathing all by itself, with just enough energy in your attention that it rests so gently on the continuous movement of the breathing. Attending to the breath as if it were the most interesting thing. The breath at the nostrils is soft and subtle. There's nothing to control. And each time the attention wanders, very gently bring it back. And all the external and internal noise is the background, and this breath is the foreground. Here's the inhale, and here's the exhale, and the transition in between. And if you ever have trouble focusing the attention, you can count the breaths from 1 to 4 and back again, just labeling the exhale with a number. The breath can be a place of stability, comfort, and ease. No demands, no judgment. This breath and this moment just breathing all by itself. And you can feel the body, if you like, simply sitting here, alive from head to toe, the weight of your body supported, letting the muscles of the face and the eyes and the mouth get soft, letting the arms and the hands be heavy, and feeling the movement of the breath in the trunk of the body. Feeling the legs and the feet and the connection between the feet and the floor. Stable. And return to the breath, which is still breathing all by itself. And the attention becomes more facile each time you practice. And it's good to know that you can make this part of your daily life. If you begin to notice you're becoming worn out, you can invite yourself to breathe and rest just like this. Very good. Thank you, Kerry.
Thank you, Rhonda, for offering us a tool for those moments in which we feel overwhelmed, so that we can learn to relax our bodies and our minds through breath and practice that relaxation, because it is the sort of thing we need to practice so that we can recruit the skill when we need it. Thank you so much. Calling in from California, Becky Alvarez is an organizer, a mom, a student, an immigrant from Guatemala, and a friend of a dear friend of mine, and I'm really happy that she could join us today. Becky, let me unmute you.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for providing me this space. This is the first time I think I've ever done this, so please bear with me. Thank you, Kerry. Should I start?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, awesome. So as Kerry mentioned, my name is Becky Alvarez. I migrated from Guatemala at the age of 10. I have two beautiful children, 20 and 17, and most of my life I have been an organizer. I was invited to this awesome collective to just share a little bit about how I have been able to stay close and passionate about the work that we all do. And it's pretty simple things. I think the most difficult part was actually implementing them and making sure that I was disciplined and always reminding myself that I am only one person, a part of a beautiful community, but all I could really control was my own actions. And with that said, self-care is a big component of my life. I began organizing about, I think, 12, 13 years ago. And I just recently made a huge transition and going back to school after dropping out in the ninth grade. So it's been a while. So that I'm really, really happy about that step, taking that huge step in my life, and taking it and being able to come back someday to work with a community group or labor union to continue to help my community. With that said, self-love, nurturing for me was food, great linens, surrounded by good, well-intentioned peeps, definitely exercising my body, and important, like I mentioned on transitions, is taking on new roads. Once the one that I had been on became narrower and narrower. As organizers, we take things very passionately and give ourselves into the work. I think it's very important to always take a step back to care for oneself, right? Making transitions towards new journeys is incredibly important for myself, but also for the folks that I had the fortune to work with for many, many years. Once I felt that I had reached that ceiling where I didn't feel that I was growing, that I was not growing beyond where I was at, and felt a little tied up or helpless, where I couldn't really do as much as I wished I can continue to do. So this is where I decided to nurture my mind and my soul by going back to school. And that's where I am at today. I mentioned, and then as far as linens go, the picture that I'm going to upload, it's going to be in my bedroom of a beautiful lamp that really creates a sense of peace in my room. And then linens. I cleaned houses for many, many, many years, and one of my favorite, not things to do necessarily, because putting on a duvet cover on a duvet, it's a mission. But from time to time, I will sneak in a little nap on those duvet covers, and I've always wanted to have one. And I recently purchased one, and it's incredible what such a small thing can do for you. I love my duvet cover. Having a beautifully put together bed for me has definitely done the trick when coming home from a long day at work or school, which is more recent. Kerry, I don't know if there's anything else.
Sure.
When I'm the only one talking.
Becky, thank you so much. Congratulations on your duvet cover too. I didn't, and because like it sounds like a small win, and but it is. It's like a big thing to know that it's a symbol really of taking care of yourself. And thank you for inviting us into, drawing on your personal story to invite us to create those sorts of symbols for ourselves, to remind ourselves how valuable we are, and that we can make choices to nurture our minds and our souls. Thank you for sharing with us today.
No problem. And then just lastly, the word burnout, when we're overwhelmed, a lot of the times we tend to internalize the terminology that gets thrown around, especially as organizers. Throughout the years, I really stayed away from the word or referring to a human being as in saying that they are burnt out, because I feel like when we do this work, we work, with folks that are really facing the worst of the worst, right? From workers' rights to the immigrant community, given, the current environment that we're facing. It's, and all the important issues that we all work on, we sometimes become a bit vulnerable. And for me, when the word burnout was thrown at me at first, it felt a little dehumanizing. So it just made me think of a light bulb, that just burnt out, and it just wasn't going to have that same kind of shine that it initially had when it was new. So for me, really staying away from that kind of terminology and us referring to myself, but more, that we just need to re-energize. And once we no longer feel that we are good where we're at that given point, maybe it's time for change. And change is a beautiful thing. And as you mentioned, we have the power to make those decisions, to really nurture ourselves, because once we really care and are happy in the place that we are at that current time, the folks that we are working with will definitely feel that love spraying out of us, that light that we all carry. It's always there. It's just sometimes it gets a bit dimmed, given, the hardships that we see folks face and that we ourselves as humans face as well. Thank you so, so, so much. Big, big hug to everyone.
Thank you, Becky. Thanks for inviting us to shine.
Shine.
So in closing, thank you again to Becky and to Rhonda for guiding us today with words of
Yes,
wisdom.
thank you, Rhonda.
And I'll invite you to share a picture in the Facebook group that reflects your experience today, or who you might be sitting with, whether it's a picture of someone, coworkers. As I said, cute animals are always welcome. Or a word or two about what's on your mind after today's call. Thank you so much, and I look forward again to being together next week. Thanks so much, everybody.